Good morning and welcome to my channel. My name is Britt and I am a digital illustrator and teeny tiny business owner. I'm super excited to be showing you guys my first ever vlog on my channel, my first ever vlog ever, so claps for that. But in this vlog I will be going over my prep, about a week's worth of prep for Bournemouth Comic Con, which I did back in March. Spoilers, it was a really good event for me, so definitely stay tuned to the end of the video to see how the convention actually went and my thoughts on it. In this vlog I am going to go over a little bit of my heat press process, how I make my tote bags and my t-shirts, which could be really cool if you're curious about that. I do also have a few chatty portions where I just talk about my general feelings about my experiences doing art markets and comic conventions so far, and my hopes for the future. So hopefully lots of interesting stuff for you guys to see, and it should be a good one. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time chatting now, so I think we should just get straight into the vlog and I will see you there. Please excuse the state of my living room / laundry room right now. This is unfortunately the sad reality a lot of the time. I've got lots of prep to do before Bournemouth Comic Con. I have already been doing prep, I've been restocking a lot of my prints and postcards and stickers, but classic me, I have been making more products that I want to bring to the convention. I have canvas pouches that I need to make, and also new print design, new sticker design, and a new postcard design. Today I think I'm going to focus on the pouches. That'll be good because I can show you a little bit how I use my heat press to make my canvas products, like my totes, my t-shirts, and well, my t-shirts on canvas, but my heat printed products. Hopefully they'll be cool to just show a little bit of that process while I'm doing it. I will see you in a minute. Also, another fun update from today, my new banner has arrived. It's a kind of backing banner. I decided to invest in a new sign that's properly printed and made by Vistaprint, same people who made my table runner. Stand back to show all of this. It's pretty big. So for example, for Bournemouth Comic Con, I have a booth that's against a wall, so this is definitely something I can put behind me on the wall. Let me get a better shot of this, maybe a bit angle. So like I said, I did already make some totes that I took to my first art market, and they are just using my soju designs, and they're super cute. People were admiring them, but no one was buying them. I had this one with 3 on, which I actually think is probably the cutest, and I think maybe if I continue making the pouches with the soju designs, I might just do this one. And then the other ones are just different single flavors that are slightly larger. So yeah, like I said, this is the first size of tote bag of pouch that I have. It's a smaller size, and then I also have this larger size, and I've yet to I have done some test prints on this larger size, but I haven't made any final designs with it that I've actually put out for sale. So that's something I kind of want to attack today. Oh yeah, wait, I did try a design on one of the larger pouches the other day, and that was this hot doggy barra one. Aww. Which is pretty cute. I mean, I'm trying to do more with my snacky barras. For those of you who don't know, snacky barras are naturally snacks and capybaras smashed together, aka what we have here. It's my little original characters, and it's so hard as an artist, especially an artist that's making cute art and wanting to do artist alleys and things, to stay true to your original characters when you know that people really like fan art, and obviously they already have a connection to those characters and they just get more responses online and in person. But when I did my last art market, I didn't take that many snacky barra like cards with me, and I had like one single capybara sticker that I had because it was, I think it was when I was still testing out making my sticker sheets, and it cut all the way through, so it just like made them into individual stickers instead of a sheet. And I just happened to have one of those, and when one of my other sticker styles sold out, I just like popped the capybara sticker in amongst my other stickers and it immediately sold. So I'm trying to have a little bit more faith in my original characters, and that's why I was like, let's try and actually like put one of these on a pouch and see if anyone likes it, you know? So you gotta try these things out. You can't just assume no one's gonna like your original characters, because that's not the aim of the game, you know? Good morning. It is Tuesday today and it is super sunny, as you can see. I'm gonna get back here, which is really nice, although I'll probably be spending the whole day inside because I have a really bad habit of just like not leaving the house since I've been working on my business. But it's such a sun trap in here, so it kind of feels like I'm outside even though I'm not. But yeah, I will try and get outside today. Anyway, while I'm inside, I'm going to be restocking my prints and stickers and postcards. I basically have one of each, one new sticker, one new print, and one new postcard to stock before the con this weekend. And so that is going to be my focus today. First time printing a new print. This is always a stressful experience because the number of times that the colours come out wrong is painful. Although this paper is really good quality, so it's a lot more reliable than like my postcard paper. I've been thinking about actually having my postcards outsourced just because of how much of a pain it is getting colours right. But this so far, it looks cute. I think it looks good. I'm really excited to finally have a new print artwork. Meow. gonna do some packaging now. I think all my printing is done for today, which is good going because it's only 3 p.m. and I feel like normally when I try and do a restock or something, I end up there at 6 p.m. with like tears in my eyes because the printer is just not cooperating, or my Cricut's not cooperating, or something like that. So it kind of feels like a bit of a growth moment, I guess. Like things kind of went smoothly. I've done it a couple of times now, restocks and shop updates and that kind of thing. And maybe I'm starting to get better at it. I just wanted to show some of the new things that I made today. So we've got the fried chicken cat here, and I'm so pleased to finally have a new print. I've been doing a lot of like doodles and like greetings card designs, but I haven't done like a proper painted print in a while. And these take me a little bit longer normally to finish, and they have a bit more detail in them. So I think I kind of procrastinate doing the full color prints, but whenever I do finish one, it's like, it feels really good. And they're always, well, they're usually like quite popular, so we'll see how this one does. Those are the 2 print sizes, and then I also have it as a greetings card. Inevitably the colors come out a little bit different on the greetings cards, but that's just all part of the added paper quality that you get with an actual print. So while we're on prints, I'm testing out doing a new size of my A4 prints. Some people were asking me if they had like a medium version of these, because I just have them in postcard size and then I go straight up to A4. And some people were asking if I had a small print version, and I figured that's like kind of a good idea. So I made up these 5x7 inch sizes, and they're on high quality print paper, so you get much better colors than on the postcards, but they'll be a little bit more affordable than the A4 ones, which are £15, and these ones will be £7 each. I've got my little Animal Crossing dialogue capitalist greetings card. It says, "Don't be such a little capitalist. Take a deep breath and enjoy a walk." I was gonna say go for a walk, but that didn't sound quite right yet, which I love. So very pleased to have those out, and hopefully there'll be some Animal Crossing fans at Bournemouth Comic Con. And what else? Oh yeah, the other new thing that I made earlier is a set of these Animal Crossing sea bass stickers. Any Animal Crossing players will just be so familiar with this dialogue because there's so many freaking sea basses in that game. I'm also really excited about the tote bag, actually. I don't know if I filmed myself making this at the time, because I kind of knew I should not be making any new tote bag designs, but I just could not resist. But I've also got a tote bag with that sea bass quote on it. I would definitely rock this, so I'm hoping there will be other people that want to as well. I only made 2 of them, and part of me wants to make more, but because I'm hoping to do a few more t-shirts, I don't want to use up all of my black vinyl because I'm actually running low. So we'll see how the t-shirts go, and if I have some vinyl left over, I might make 1 or 2 more of those, just because 2 doesn't feel like, let's say they are really popular, which is what we want, 2 doesn't feel like that many. I think that I've found it kind of difficult to decide how much stock to actually bring to this convention, because I've never been to it before, so I don't have an expectation in my mind of what the attendance is like. B, it's not a massive convention. Like I said, I used to be really into conventions when I was a teenager, so I've been to a lot of the big ones, like obviously MCM. I used to go every year, twice a year. I've been to quite a few conventions. I've never been to Bournemouth Comic Con. So it feels a little bit new territory, and it feels like it's probably not going to be, well, it's definitely not going to be anywhere near as busy as those other events, I would say. Saying that, I don't want to underestimate how much stock I might need for it, and you know, go and only take like 2 of everything, and then there's actually loads of people that want to buy like Animal Crossing tote bags, or there's loads of people that want to buy avatar prints. Like, I really don't know. Also, I think this convention is going to be really good for my target audience in a way that the last market that I went to wasn't as much. Like, there were still people there that were interested in my art and, you know, found it cute. I wanted to do comic conventions and like anime conventions for a while because I know that people who like my art are going to be there, basically. So from that perspective, I'm like, okay, well, what if there's, you know, more people there, like the number of people there that might want to buy something that I sell is increased. So from that logic, maybe I should take a little bit more stock. Also, I was feeling kind of bummed out lately, well, just today, because I didn't get into MCM Comic Con earlier this week, and I always knew that that was a possibility that I wouldn't get into that show because it's really, well, it's like probably the biggest event like of its kind that happens in the UK every year or twice a year, and it's super competitive, and the, you know, judging process for it is probably kind of a mystery, and so it's just like a high chance that you won't get in. And I know people that have like tried and got in one year and then haven't got in the next year, so I kind of was like trying not to hold my breath about it, but then I think I subconsciously had been putting a lot of my eggs in the basket of maybe doing it. So when I didn't get it, I was like, okay, that's fine. Let's look at other conventions that I can do, because like I've said before, I really think that my art will do well at those kind of events. And lo and behold, every other convention, like every other major convention that I'd heard of seemed to already be full up. Like, I don't know what happened. I basically just wasn't on it because I checked a lot of the conventions that I knew about last year, at the end of last year, to see if they were accepting applications yet, and a lot of them weren't. And then I guess I just didn't do a good enough job of signing up for the newsletters or like the mailing list of those conventions, because apart from MCM, I just did not get the memo about any of the other ones having their applications open. So by the time I came to have a look at applying to them, it was like every table was gone except for like maybe some of the massive tables, which I cannot afford nor fill. And so I was like, oh crap, I have missed out on a whole year of convention. I'm gonna have to kind of try and find some that will take me last minute, which is fine, but you know, you kind of want to have that like one event that you're super excited about, that feels like a bit more buzzy, that you kind of know is going to be busy. So I was feeling super bummed out about that, but I tried to frame it in a different kind of way where I'm very much of the belief that like everything happens for a reason, and like the things that are meant for me will find me, and that the things, you know, when you don't get something, it's because it wasn't meant for you right now, or that you know, like it just wasn't the time for it. I think it's just like a mindset thing that probably just helps with my mental health, because I've always been someone that'll be like super anxious or like hard on myself and think like, oh, I didn't do that, and like I should have done more to change that, and I should have done this and that. And it's like, you can't change the past. Like, I can't go back and make myself sign up to all those mailing lists. That was a different me that did not know about that, and did not know even about all the conventions that I wanted to apply to at that point. So we can't dwell on that. We just have to say it wasn't the time. And in fairness, in light of something like MCM specifically, I actually do think it was probably a blessing in disguise I didn't get into it this time, because it's such a big, hectic convention. I think I would have been overwhelmed, considering it's in May as well, which is not that long away. I think it would have been a pretty big step for me, going from like having only done a few, well, I've only done one market before. I'm doing my first Artist Alley this weekend, and then I'm going to do my second ever market next month, and then it will be MCM, which I think will be a little bit intense, to be honest. Okay guys, so I did not record any vlogging for this part, and I'm doing a voiceover now, and I almost think that I did not vlog for this part because I think subconsciously I knew how much of a mess it was going to be. Here's me trying to do my setup, and it was a struggle. Like, look at me moving these boxes around. I have no idea what I'm doing. It was my first time doing a table setup that was just a classic 6-foot table size, because my first ever art market was actually just a really massive 8-foot table. So I almost had to do less planning because I was just super sure that I would have space for everything. Whereas obviously this time I wanted to be really sure that I would fit it all on my table. This is really where the trouble started. These tote bags, I hadn't had anywhere near as many designs for my last market, so I spent my almost entire time rearranging these things. I really wanted to have all of the designs on show, but then it just felt like so many tote bags, like too many tote bags. This footage is sped up 10 times and it's still like painfully long to watch me move these things around. Like, you'll also notice that I just took down all of those pouches that I put up. Like, they looked good where they were. I guess I wanted to see what they'd look like just being sat on the table. I think I just wanted to do something that wasn't the tote bag, so I'm trying to put this t-shirt somewhere. Like, well done babe, great job. It probably won't surprise you to learn that I just stopped filming after a while because I think I was on the verge of a breakdown. So here is what I actually ended up with. It looks quite nice. I don't know how I managed it, to be honest, looking at the footage, but yeah, I got a display that I was happy with. I didn't build everything because I couldn't be bothered, and I was tired, but I had a basic idea of where everything was going to go, and I was feeling a lot more confident than before. I kind of opted to go for prints on one side and my textile products more on the other side, along with my postcards, because I just couldn't fit them on the side with my prints, and I think it looks good. I think it took off some years of my life, but I am happy with the final outcome.
Good morning. It is the Saturday morning before Bournemouth Comic Con and I'm pretty much ready, but I just need to pack up my stuff that you can see here into my big suitcase and then pack everything into my car so that I can drive over to Bournemouth. So Comic Con isn't until tomorrow, but we have a slot from 3 to 5 p.m. today where we can set up, which is really nice because it won't be so hectic on like the actual morning of the con, and hopefully I can take a little bit more time over it and be a bit more chill than I was at my last market. But yes, so today I am going to leave hopefully in about an hour and a half's time and drive over to Bournemouth. It's going to take me about 3 hours to drive there. So I will pack up all my stuff into my suitcase and pop that in my car and then go to the Bournemouth International Conference Centre and set up my stand.
My dad lives in the area, so I was really lucky that he came and helped me out with this show, including setup, but the grid cubes were his mortal enemy. I fast forwarded to the actual morning of the convention now. We did get quite a lot set up the day before, but I didn't finish all of it, which is what I really wanted to do. But I'm still so flustered and slow when it comes to setup. And also, the grid cubes just drive me nuts, but they are too useful for me to stop using them. So I'm just fine-tuning my setup now. I was literally sweating so much during this footage. I was stressed. It was also incredibly hot in there. But yeah, it's really close to opening time now, and I'm still like putting out my price signs and stuff, which I feel like is always what I end up doing. But it actually does look really nice on my stand. I'll show you a proper video footage of it in a minute. But yeah, my stand came together really nice, and I was just doing the final finishing touches now before the convention opened. So here's a proper view of my final setup. I actually had to make a few changes because the table was, I don't know if it was slightly smaller than I did in my test setup or if I just didn't test it properly. So in the end, I actually wasn't able to fit as many totes like all the way across the front as I'd wanted to. So I ended up splitting them kind of between the top and the front of my table. So I have all my extra t-shirt sizes here as well as my display t-shirt so people can see how it looks. I also had that browser of prints for my large print sizes at the side, which was good. My stickers are always at the front in the middle of my table so people can look through them really easily. And the same with my basket of postcards, you just off the screen to the right there. My prints also, I like them to be somewhere where people can easily flick through them. And as you can see, I also ended up moving my pouches over to the left-hand side so that my canvas products were actually split between each side, but I think it was good because they were like right in people's eye line. Hello, it's me again. Didn't vlog too much at the event because I was super stressed as usual. I hope that in the future I'm going to be able to like do more vlogging when I go to conventions and things like that, but for now I was just so focused on like making sure that everything worked smoothly in terms of taking payments, and I was also really busy, which was a good thing, and I didn't have a lot of time to just like film footage, let alone talk to the camera. You know from the footage that you've already seen, me doing the prep, that I didn't really know what to expect with this convention. I thought it might be good or it could be really quiet. It really could have gone either way. And when I got there and I was talking to some of the other exhibitors about if they'd done the event before and how they found it, they equally seemed to not really know how it would go, because they said that Creed Conventions, who were the ones that were running this specific Comic Con in Bournemouth, had lots of different events in different places and they could be really hit and miss. Some would be really busy and good and others would be really slow and quiet. So asking around didn't really clear up in my head how it would be. We all got really lucky because this event just happened to be sold out. I guess the Bournemouth Comic Con community is alive and well, and loads of people turned up on the day. There was apparently, I didn't see it myself, but there was apparently like a long queue down the street at opening time of people just waiting to come in, which is really good. Once I had set up, I was super nervous. I always get really nervous in the first hour of an event. It's just that gut feeling where you're so anxious that like no one's gonna like your work or do anything, and you suddenly feel like so underprepared even though you've done all that prep work beforehand. I don't think I made a sale for maybe the first 40 minutes, so that's always like the most nerve-wracking time when you're just imagining that like no one wants to buy any of your stuff. But once I started to sell, the sales just kept coming. I was making a sale around every 5 minutes, which was crazy, like so different to my first ever market experience where it was a lot slower than that. I'd say overall the experience was really validating. I think just to have the positive reactions that I had from people and to have the consistent sales and also be selling a lot of my newer projects like my tote bags and my pouches and my t-shirts that I'd invested in but wasn't really sure whether or not I would get a return on. It felt really good to get the proof that those products were valued. Also, I did say this in my last video, but one thing that really stuck out to me about this convention was that it wasn't long. It was only maybe 10 to 4 on a Sunday, just a one day, fairly short day convention. Comparing that to my previous market, which was 2 days, 2 longer days, I made more money in this short one day artist alley than I did at my entire full weekend art market that I'd done the month before, which really showed me just how much my audience is at artist alleys and comic cons. Cool numbers. I am so bad at calculating my actual profits. But as far as I remember, I took about £700, I think, from this event. Obviously, I had other expenses to think about, like petrol, food, and the cost of the table itself, which was about 50 quid if I remember correctly, which is a really good price for a table. Luckily, I didn't have accommodation costs because I was staying with my dad, so that was actually a huge draw for me for this convention. I do think you should always take into account accommodation and travel costs for any convention you're thinking of doing. It can be tempting to just like travel across the country for different conventions, but you have to weigh up whether or not it's going to be worth your while. Luckily for me, with the fact that my expenses were low for this and it was a sold out event, I got a really good deal out of it. I think I'm definitely more than made back my money. And it felt great. And even more than that, I think at this stage, I mean, it was only my second event and I've had so many business costs that I almost don't think in terms of profit yet. It's all about experience and exposure and seeing which ones of my products people like and seeing what I should make more of and like how I want to work going forward and that kind of thing. So from that perspective, super valuable. Another positive for me, I would say, was that I actually ended up with a really good table location. I didn't choose the specific location myself. It was allocated by the event organizers, but I did choose to have a table that was against a wall because I just wanted the extra space to scrabble around in my storage and all of that. And I'd thought that I could put my banner up on the wall, which I couldn't. So something to bear in mind is that you normally just can't stick stuff to the walls at these places, which in hindsight makes sense. I really needed to have like an actual like display stand or something to put that big banner on that I showed at the beginning of the vlog. So that was kind of a bummer that I couldn't use that, but lessons learned, I guess. But yeah, my table location was really good for me because it was kind of at an angle, so it was facing diagonally into the hall and it was quite freestanding, so I could use both sides of my table and my like grid cube display to put extra products on, like extra t-shirts and tote bags that people could easily see from elsewhere in the hall. I also had space for my big print browser, which was great because I do like my large prints, but they are really hard to display when you don't have an additional browser to put them in. Another thing that I really liked about this event, it had a really nice sense of community. The fact that you're all in Artist Alley at a Comic Con is kind of like this thing that binds you together, and it's already quite a niche like realm to be in. So I think that it was really easy to chat to the other artists and like swap tips and like talk about other events, and really loved that. And I met some really nice people doing really cool stuff. Another thing I would say that felt really positive for me about the way this event went was that I had a lot of post-event follow-up. I actually got like quite a few Instagram followers. I got some messages and comments from people, which was really lovely. And then I had people from the area making orders actually after the convention. So it really felt like I'd made a bit of an impact and had some growth as a result of going to it, which I didn't necessarily feel as much from my first art market. But yeah, if I was to summarize, I would say obviously for me, like apart from the fact that I was super stressed at the beginning, it all paid off. Like, it was a toss-up, so it could have maybe been more quiet, but I'm confident enough in it to say that I will probably apply it again for the September show that they do. It's a pretty relaxed show. Like, I think that's a nice thing about it though. It's not like your MCM or something like that where it's going to be this super massive military operation. It's pretty relaxed. Yeah, I would recommend this event if anyone is in the area or thinking of doing it. And I will also be doing another Creed Conventions event next month, the Brighton Comic Con. So I think it'll be really interesting to compare the two and see if they are similar, they're different, or what that's like. So I will let you know about that in due time. Anyway, I think that's all from me. If you've made it this far in the video, then thank you so much. I've been really enjoying documenting my art journey here on YouTube, and I'm going to continue releasing a video every month. So if that feels like your thing to follow along with, then please feel free to subscribe. And if you like the video, then I would love it if you like the video. I think that's everything that I had to say. Thank you so much again, and I will see you next time. Bye!